You know, I feel a connection between us. Like we're two souls walking the same path. You might be a little naive in the ways of the world, but I see promise in you. Ambition.
What do you mean, naive?
Just that you have a big heart. You like doing what's right. So I was thinking, what would be the right thing to do when we get to Moonrise Towers? When we come face to face with whoever is controlling the parasites in our heads?
Seize control of the cult ourselves.
Yes. Exactly. Just think. How many people have the Mind Flayers infected? Hundreds? Thousands? And they're not just goblin trash. There are powerful people in the Worm's thrall. Whoever's waiting for us at Moonrise Towers controls it all. But if we can take that control from them, imagine the power we'd wield.
And how would we do that exactly?
I mean, I assume there's some device controlling these things, so we find that. Murder some people and, Look, I'm not a details person, all right? But turning up and causing chaos has worked for us so far. I'm just saying, there's an opportunity here. If we can control the tadpoles, we can keep ourselves safe. And liberate the world from this evil.
Or we could just enjoy having all that power.
I knew I was right about you. It's so good to find a kindred spirit. Of course, this all assumes we live long enough to find this, moonrise. But I'm feeling optimistic.
Like watching a beached flounder flop back to the sea. Is that the idea?
Oh, goodness. Is it all that bad? I'm dreadfully out of practice. No better time to brush upon my skills then. It would do me no good to fail my new partner.
Keep practicing. I'm sure you'll get better. Eventually.
Maybe. But I'm not so keen to perform solo. A duet's always been more my style. Which is to say, may I have this dance?
I'm not interested, Will.
Are you sure? I've been rehearsing, you know. I'd hate to put all that effort to waste.
I think we should just call it a day.
Oh. I mean, yes, of course. The sun only rests for so long.
Welcome back. The Tran wins Baldur's Gate 3. Had to find a sweet spot to jump over.
You! Halt!
Her thoughts invade your own, hunting for recognition. Your parasite offers it readily.
True soul. A pleasure. What news from the field?
Little to report. What news inside?
General Ketheric's advisor went off on a field trip. Zarel's in charge till he gets back. Zarel's in the audience chamber, true soul. Go right ahead.
Our path leads to Zarel. Let us not keep her waiting.
In her name.
Praise the Absolute.
Astarion, can you reach her from it? Barely. Let's try scooting a bit closer.
There's a parasite in that corpse, brimming with potent magic.
There's nothing to see here. She doesn't seem to care too much, apparently.
Feel free to haul a few boxes. We need all the hands we can get.
She says that, but if you so much as touch a box, they will try to arrest you. We will deal with all of them. Let's go and unstealth everybody by stealthing and then re-stealthing.
These boots have seen everything. Best be on my way.
Inside the Zentrum boxes, you might find some scrolls and potions.
Enjoy the view. This feels like it stretch all the way to the Sea of Swords on a clear day. If this vessel gets a clear day.
Very well.
You notice that we can't really interact with them, at least peaceably.
I'm afraid you missed the ship, Trousseau, but there'll be another along soon enough. We're already stacking the cargo.
Where are the ships heading?
Baldur's Gate. The army marches overland, but we sent some friends ahead to smooth the way.
Why does the Absolute want to make war with the city?
Locals need to see hard truth. Take their place in hard design. Or they don't, and we send them to meet the old gods they cling to. Doesn't matter much either way.
What cargo are they bringing?
Nothing of note. Just supplies for the battle ahead. I've already checked it twice over.
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
Your job is to guard. Leave the details to me, yes?
Right you are, I suppose. Check away.
A wave of sick familiarity radiates from one barrel amidst the cargo. Tadpoles. Sleeping and scarcely aware, but echoing yours 100-fold.
Look at all those tads! Enough to make an army of absolutists.
Examine the seal. It looks familiar to you.
The winged serpent of the Zentrim. It seems their pursuit of profit extends even here.
Reach out, tadpole to tadpole.
A pattern of blank minds newly born. They carry only a bare shred of memory, inherited from something older. A sleep of centuries. The birth and destruction of a settlement above forming only background noise to the dream. Until something descended down into the darkness, and the dreamer awoke.
Empty. Void of essence, void of purpose. We cannot allow their birth.
Not long before we march on the city.
I checked the cargo. It's a little unusual.
Don't see how, Trousseau. It's just supplies going ahead of the troops.
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
Think hard. What's really in those boxes?
A shadow swims across your vision, and a familiar voice tells you to be calm. You are loved. As you bear down on his mind, you feel a pulse in response. 1,000 pulses, echoing from the nearby crates. Tadpoles. His mind had rejected the knowledge, forced it behind a mental wall. A wall you just took a hammer to.
Worms. Worms in their heads. Worms all over.
You had best wash them off.
Parasites? Worms?
And there we go.
What in the hell?
Just move on, Armin. You didn't see anything.
You can join them.
Should mind my step.
Stand clear of the cargo. Respectfully, true soul.
What's so important about these boxes?
They're not to be opened until they reach the city. The Absolute smiles on them that follow orders. And I don't plan on being a guard for long, true soul.
You definitely have the attitude of a true soul, at least.
Thank you. Aye?
Tell me why you're shipping tadpoles to the city.
Tadpoles? Like a delicacy? I wouldn't know much about that, true soul. I'm just a soldier. Which, speaking of, I'd best go report my man missing. If you'll excuse me.
If we had told him that his man had taken a dive in the lake, he'll say that he's going to go get the armor. Let's go and pick this up. It wasn't necessary to get rid of everybody, but it is something we can totally do. You would think that, hey, we're going to get a ton of tadpoles, like 100, 1,000. Note that we have 6 right now. The top right of the screen. Pick this up. We have 8. Come on. Seriously? That's all we get. Around the area, if you search all the crates, the ones that are marked might give you some potions and scrolls. The rest is just garbage.
There can be no doubt. This is the place. This is where we'll discover the secret of the Absolute.
This is the guy we were just talking to outside.
Then I shall have to keep them busy.
He was from the city, I think. Well, down there's his home now.
This is the dungeon. We'll be back and carve more blood here in a bit. There's still more to do.
Not to diminish our efforts, but it was rather simple getting here in the end, wasn't it?
We are each of us threads in her
Which will
design.
make the pleasure of overcoming
Even
them
those
all the more
we once
potent.
called monsters.
Each pack of recruits they bring in is worse than the last. Can't trust them to sweep the stables, let alone swing a sword.
I thought the Absolute welcomed all believers.
Not for me to say. All I know is they're bloody useless round here.
Then get rid of them. The undeserving should be purged.
Yeah. They're deadweight. Not real believers like us. Thank you, true soul. In her name.
I was a farrier in Desarin Valley. And the dreams came.
My brothers had the dreams too. Same as me. They wouldn't admit it.
The Absolute calls us all to her design. Your family will answer. Eventually.
We're going to talk to and assassinate almost everybody here.
Right, pilgrims. You'll be scouting the perimeter of the war camp, looking for enemies.
But the shadows? Is death out there without a guide?
The shadows won't harm you, so long as you know your place in the Absolute's design.
Of course. Of course.
Well, Flo didn't tell a lie. She said you'd find me, and here you are. Karlach, isn't it?
Now there's a name I'd hope never to hear again. What was Flo doing here?
Didn't think to quiz her about her business.
Karlach, who's Flo?
Florenta the Garotta. A Cambion I knew back in Avernus. She was the closest thing I had to a friend. That said, she would have choked the life out of me if I ever turned my back on her. The fact that she knows where I am, where I might be going, doesn't exactly delight me.
Is she a threat?
Maybe. Probably. I don't know. She's a half-devil. Impossible to read. I wouldn't have given her the time of day, but even I needed a laugh once in a while. What can I say? The bitch had good jokes.
Enough chatter. Your friend gave me 3 soul coins, said I could sell them if I wanted. But if I kept them for you, she'd consider it a favor owed.
Soul coins, huh? Those could come in handy.
We shouldn't take anything offered by a devil. Too risky.
Cambion. But you're right. Then again, they could really come in handy.
How quickly my party members turn into hypocrites when it's about them. Let's have the soul coins then.
Sure. But she did have a condition. For every coin you take, you've got to hear the story of the soul trapped inside.
There you have it. Flo came all this way just to try to make me feel like shit. Clever use of her time. Memorized a bunch of sad stories on her behalf, did you?
Didn't need to. Your Flo did some devil woo-woo and stuck 'em in my head. Couldn't forget now if I wanted to. Do you want the coins or not?
Bear in mind that these soul coins you use to charge up her infernal engine, you're basically consuming the souls of those who are trapped inside this coin. Fine. Get on with it then.
First coin's got the soul of a woman named Mavery. She was born to a cruel mother, and a violent father, and 3 evil brothers, all named Baldur. She never knew a day of love in all her life. When she was a girl of 15, she sold her soul to Tiamat in exchange for someone who would love her unconditionally. She got what she asked for. A fellow named Clint, destined to be her soulmate. Struck by a cart and died a few moments after clapping eyes on our Mavery. Poor guy. The scud of her soul is yours now.
Thanks, I guess.
We'll put that coin to better use than Tiamat would have.
Sure you will. This one has got the soul of a man named Frakes. Lived in a village near Neverwinter. Hit hard by the worst hunger in 1,000 years. Frakes called out for help. Prayed for his children to have meat to eat. Zariel answered. Made old Frakes grow flesh upon flesh after flesh. His wee ones had all the meat they could stomach.
He should have known. Better to die 1,000 deaths than let Zariel into your life.
And here you are about to eat the coin. That's absolutely clever. Unsurprisingly of Zariel, but clever all the same.
Karlach's the one set to consume his soul, I hear. Last one's got the soul of a little boy named Ungir. 8 years old. He liked playing in the sun with his friends. That's all I know.
That's all?
That's all. Oh, and this slip of scratch.
We'll read that in a minute.
Well, thanks, Flo. Hearing a bunch of desperate horror has ruined my day, which I suppose was the point.
You got 3 soul coins out of the bargain, didn't you? I'd quit whinging if I were you. I did my part. That means our business is done. Unless you've got actual gold to hand.
We're going to leave for now so you can read that book right away. Sulphurous Note. To whom it may concern, Frugg had his head stuck in a butter barrel, and when his little imp thing tried to help him, they both fell off a ledge into a volcano. I laughed so hard, Zero sent me out of the room. Other than that, you haven't missed much, though I sure as hell missed you. XO Flo. And here I was hoping it was more about the boy. What was the name? Oscar? I don't know.
If you have coin, then show it.
You'll never peddle your wares with that attitude.
I do not peddle. I put weapons in worthy hands. The Absolute needs warriors for her crusade. But I see only weaklings in this place.
You want a warrior? Here I am.
Prove it. Who's singing your name?
Nobody sings my name. I don't leave any witnesses. This is actually new to me. I never talked to him a second time.
Looks like there's bite in you yet. Want anything from my stash? You pay less than the rest.
Uncommon recognition. So we got the Halberd of Vigilance. Gloves of the Duelist. Well, I'm trying to leave it up long enough to read, but maybe I should actually talk about it. This gives me the same thing as the perk. The Halberd of Vigilance gives me +1 to initiative and advantage on perception checks. So that sounds pretty cool. I might use that for just wandering around. The Sentinel Shield is an upgrade to some of our basic shields, which gives me a +3 bonus to initiative and more advantage on perception checks. Enraging Heart Garb. While raging, the wearer gains 2 turns of wrath. Fistbreaker Helm, that'll go on Shadowheart. It gives me extra +1 spell save DC. That's already what she's got, but this also gives me a +1 bonus to initiative rolls. Big Boy's Chew Toy. This allows me to cast Enlarge, or Who's a Large Fellow. Grow in size to become stronger. You gain advantage, blah blah. Same thing as Colossus. Slicing Short Sword. When I attack with advantage, the target gets bleeding. Let's see here. Smoke Powder Arrow. That sounds really cool. Potion of Angelic Reprieve. Like, there's lots of cool stuff, which we'll just grab for a second. Let's look. That's all the main magical items. Now we'll just hand it over.
A new face come to bask in the light of the Absolute. How can I be of service, true soul?
New face. We've met before, at the Goblin Camp.
Of course. Just before some godless lunatic purged the place of every innocent soul. A pity neither of us saw what happened.
Speak for yourself. I had a pretty good view of the slaughter.
Better to keep that quiet. Unless you want another look from the receiving end. Look around. All manner of beasties united against the enemies of the Absolute. Quite a god to bring them all together. And quite a fool who'd draw their ire.
You almost sound concerned for my safety.
More concerned that your business might be bad for my business. So don't go kicking the hive while there's still some honey to be had.
See what she's got. Sharpened Snare Cuirass. Adds your full dexterity modifier. Bunch of new scrolls. Scroll of Eyebite. Autolute's Freezing Sphere. Cloud Kill. Planar Binding. Chain Lightning. Disintegrate. Global Invulnerability. Irresistible Dance. Sunbeam. Code, and Telekinesis. So this will be giving us level 6 spells or something when we get to that rank. Arrow of Humanoid Slaying, that sounds funny. Gloves of Crushing. The wearer gains +1 bonus to unarmed attack rolls, and their unarmed attacks deal an additional 2 bludgeoning damage. Unfortunately, we are not able to use this right now. We might be able to find some... We might make a monk or something in the future. Armor of Devotion. This gives me another Oath charge. Drake Throat Glaive. This allows me to cast Draconic Elemental Weapon, giving me a +1 to attack rolls and 1d4 damage of my choice. Never Misser. Cast Magic Missile. Marksmanship Hat. You gain a +1 bonus to ranged attack rolls and thrown attack rolls. Okay. So that might be something to pass over to Karlach. That looks like pretty much everything here. Oh, there's 2 rings. Virulent Venom. They'll just probably go in our storage. Gives me... Point your ring finger at a target to make it vulnerable to poison damage. And Ring of Spiteful Thunder, which gives me... When the wearer deals thunder damage to a reverberating creature, it becomes dazed unless it succeeds a Constitution saving throw. So that might go on Shadowheart, since she's able to cast thunder and lightning and reverberate targets.
What a charmer.
So you want the hat. What else did we get? That goes to Shadowheart. Give her a perception advantage. That might go to Will. This might go on Tran. Not gonna worry too much about that right now. Pass that to Lae'zel. We'll utilize that at some point. Pass that to Asterion, and then we'll just pass that to Gale. I think that's everything. Send to camp. Let's go to Asterion. Oh, and this is the Zentrum shipping crate. It reminds me of the smoke powder, rune powder barrel. Yeah. This is the area where you'd enter the building from.
With haste.
Wouldn't head into the main hall if I were you. Zyril and Ketheric are working on some poor worm.
I will be murdering all of the absolutists later. It won't be anything fancy. I won't be showing it. It's just where I'll lure them into a corner and then send all 8 of my people to murder them. For the ones that have a little bit more panache to it, yeah, I'll go and show you. I don't know if panache is the right word.
A moment, true soul. You use a spoon to stir the soup, Barnabas. Forget the axe, my darling. Now, how can I help you?
I've never seen a tame gnoll before.
Soft and sweet as pudding, isn't he? He no longer remembers his life in the wild. That is the gift the Absolute gave me when I stood before her. To rewrite the lives of her faithful. Make them believe there's something better.
You've actually stood before the Absolute.
I have. It is one thing to hear her voice. Quite another to feel the power she can grant. Observe. Barnabas, sweetie, come show what a good boy you are. What would you like him to do?
You decide.
The prayer, I think. Barnabas struggles with civilized speech, but he's been practicing.
You feel her will surge outwards and envelop the creature, inexorable as the tide.
No, Barnabas! We talked about this.
Sever her control once and for all.
Like rope drawn taut beneath the blade, the connection simply snaps.
No! Barnabas, darling. No!
There's an illithid parasite in that corpse.
All trace of restraint is gone. Barnabas has tasted blood, and wants more. The mark glows, but you feel nothing in response. Your illithid power is beyond reach until you rest.
Try it. I dare you.
The beast sizes you up, then turns away to easier prey. The kitchen's rich stock of unguarded meat and a warm patch by the fire.
If you think that's a little too harsh for her, she will actually just kill Barnabas during their power struggle.
I know better than to indulge every craving, Shadowheart. But when the time is right, the Absolutists will feel the sting of my blade.
See here. Earlier, during our conversations, it said Lae'zel looks like she said she itches to draw her weapon and gut every cultist. Shadowheart says, "Don't get carried away. Some of these guts might be used to us unspilled for a little while." The gnolls are currently green to allow you to steal from this corpse, which gives us the parasite. This is another internal room, but we'll make a full lap around the building. The throne room is there. We'll do that last. Here's a guy who's just cowering in the corner. Can't really interact with him. But this one's more interesting. You should talk to her with each one of your characters, and you'll get a new potion, depending on your race.
Araj Oblodra, trader in blood and the sanguineous arts. It is a pleasure to stand before a true soul, and your pale companion. I'd like to offer my services, if you're willing.
What does a trader in blood do exactly?
I trade in blood, and the potions that can be wrung from it. I'm more than happy to make you one, if you'd honor me with your blood. With one drop, I can brew a rather potent potion for you. The rest, I keep for myself.
And what exactly will you do with the blood you keep?
Research, naturally. A little experimentation, perhaps. I have an innate curiosity for all things sanguine.
What kind of potion is this exactly?
No idea, but it will be unique to you. Your blood essence and the Absolute's blessing intertwined. We can learn exactly what that means together,
Sounds interesting. Let's do it.
Just a little prick and it's all over. Close your eyes. There we are. All of your very best traits in a bottle. Use it well. Although perhaps there's one more thing we could discuss. Your friend. He's a vampire, no? Or one of their spawn, at least.
Oh, don't worry. We're all friends under the Absolute. I won't bite.
Oh, I'd prefer if you did. I assume he belongs to you?
He does what I tell him, if that's what you mean.
As it should be. Do you have a name, Spawn?
Astarion, but hold on.
Good. Now, Astarion. I've dreamt of being bitten by a vampire since I was a young girl.
I'm sorry, you want to be bitten?
To feel your life's blood slipping away. To dance on the edge between life and death. Yes, I want it. I'll even compensate you. A potion of legendary power that forever increases the strength of the one who consumes it. It's not for sale, but it's yours if you bite me.
I will have to decline.
Excuse me? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you're squandering it.
I gave you my answer.
Can't you talk some sense into your obstinate charge?
I am surprised, Astarion. I thought you'd jump at a chance like this.
I'm sorry, but could you excuse us a moment? Are you actually asking me to do this? Trading me for some potion? Because there's something wrong with her blood. I can smell it from here. It's rank.
The potion that powerful could change our fates. Isn't that worth the bad taste in your mouth?
I suppose you have a point.
I don't have all day, true soul.
Fine. I'll do it. Darling, I've had a sudden change of heart. After all, who could resist such a delectable neck? Hold very, very still.
Incredible. Incredible.
Oh, hells.
Not to your taste?
You're fetid, full of corruption.
I feel exquisite, though. So here's my part of the bargain. I hope you find it as satisfying as I found this. It was everything I imagined, and then more. I'll be able to put this to good use.
We received for our blood this half-orcish fury. When you're down, you instead drop to 1 hit point. It's okay. Other characters, other races will get different things. This is what we get for letting Astarion bite her. Permanent increased strength by 2. Now, if Astarion bites her, again, just like regular combat action, nothing happens. There's no poison or anything. You want to have every one of your characters interact with her and give her blood, unless you're worried about what evil things she might do with it, I suppose.
These are the stalking grounds of Steelclaw, furless one. Tread lightly. Fortunately for you, the slithering vermin I hunt has my attention. For now.
Sorry, your name is Steelclaw.
It is a name I earned through bloodshed and death. Unfortunately, the more ignorant here refuse to use it. Fluffers, they call me. Idiots.
Slithering vermin. They're called tadpoles.
Their name matters not, merely their demise. I braved lapping waters and leaking ships to find this prey. I butchered many, and will butcher many more. But this one I toy with. I slice, I tear, and when the time is right, I will bite its head off and bathe in its innards!
Good luck with the hunt, Steelclaw.
Luck is not needed. Merely patience and a thirst for blood. Hunt fast and hunt well.
The tadpole itself is dead. You can pick it up, but nothing. It doesn't help you at all. There is one last room. Right here, cracked wall.
This is the spot that's marked on that map.
If you look inside this area, I don't even know how, like, what the construction this served, unless it was purely built for this chest. There's no doors or anything. I mean, I understand as a game thing, yeah, sure, have some loot for the player, but it is a weird idea to think about what it does, or is purpose for.
This fortress was a seat of the High Heralds, I believe. Long gone from here, of course.
The who now?
A council of intellectuals, respected throughout Faerun. Leading authorities on heraldry, of course, but also history, genealogy, and diplomacy.
Seems like diplomacy failed if they allowed Ketheric Thorm to take over. Twice.
That's a stone bloody wall. Have a taste if you don't believe us.
Throne room over here. And this is back to the main lobby. So we've made a full circuit of the area. We're still going to save the throne room for a bit, but let's talk to Mig.
Hush! Meat sounds above. Here.
For a moment, you do hear it. Flesh sliding on stone, like a living being extending through the walls.
Something in the walls. What is it?
Big! In walls above! Maybe whole tower. Loudest near kitchen. But Mig banned. Not allowed to pet gnolls. You find meat? You share.
There's no option to share this meat with her, but we will go find this meat.
You'd find better lodgings out in the war camp, True Soul. I know we're all one under the Absolute, but you do not want to bunk with an ogre.
Alright, lapse complete.
His brother took my meat.
Let's see. Let's go and have her cast Bull's Strength. I don't remember which attribute that it's going to be, so we'll just cast Bull's Strength. I'm pretty sure that's it. I'm clicking. Then we'll throw in a guidance on top of it. No longer carrying the guidance amulet. Come on, dude. I think it's just because there's so much here that the game has quite a bit of delay on each action. You can actually climb the rafters and hang out above the throne room. And that is one way to continue to ascend the tower as well. But that's not why we're up here.
What's that?
I'm going to make a save here, just in case. This is a dumb idea, but we are going to do it for the video. Still, I'd rather succeed this check.
Through a narrow crack in the wall, you hear something shift against stone. The pulse of a crawling, living thing. A coiling, restless void stirs within you. Your patron. For some reason, this thing in the wall excites it.
Determine what it is.
You can't quite catch a glimpse, but you recognize this feeling. The same alien presence you felt on the Nautiloid.
Reach in.
Your awareness unfolds, expanding through every wall in the tower, every mind. A vast living network extending down into the dark, where something wakes.
It's a trap!
Tendrils snap like iron cords around your wrist. That presence in your mind looms large, closer now.
Invite the presence in. There's always room for one more.
The tendrils tighten, and suddenly you are elsewhere. The presence is no longer approaching you, but encircling you, observing you.
I'm Tran.
A pause, as if it struggles to compress its vast being down into terms you can understand.
This is the voice they have given me. To better speak to your kind without breaking you. I was once a servant of the grand design. Now I'm a slave to theirs. But you are the flaw in their design. The single thread that could unravel everything they've planned.
What do you mean, I'm the flaw?
I am the chain they will use to bind this world. But I cannot bind you. You must come to me, so I can become myself again.
A world away, the grip on you tightens. A desperate, drowning thing that pulls you down with it.
Come, become.
Resist it!
At this point, we do wish to resist. It's not death if you fail, though. You just move to another area, and I'll tell you when we get to there naturally. We can channel your oath, focus your thoughts, forget subtlety. Let's try Paladin Charisma.
It almost had you. You did well to pull away from it.
Careful. It nearly had you.
That is the male guardian voice. It's just a bug. Whatever that creature was, its telepathic force is unlike anything I've ever encountered. It must be the source of the Absolute. Before we close off this episode, there is one last thing I'd like to show you. There is an inspiration available if you climb up the outside of the tower. We'll use Asterion since lockpicking is involved with this. It looks like he's running slow because he's in Colossus mode, so his footsteps are normal speed, it's just that he's larger. Imagine if we were 5 times this size and running at normal speed, we would look very slow. Featherfall. We didn't need it for this specific jump, but it will help us get back. Come on, game. I've got a plus 12 here. An advantage, mind you.
They won't see me coming.
Outlander, never liked stairs.
Let's go.
Tran has a dislocated shoulder, which cannot be removed by the restoration spell or anything like that. We just have to cure it from a long rest. Here is Ketheric Thorm and Minthara, which we'll get into next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Tran wins Baldur's Gate 3. I'll see you next time.